Rings used to be the most important currency inside a Sonic Speed Simulator, but ever since Reborn happened, rings have really had no use. It's no use, some may say. Today we're going to be talking about some ways that GameFam could actually make rings more useful, like in the good old days. We're also going to be talking about why they actually are useless nowadays too. Please be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and let's get right into the video. I hope you guys enjoy. So yeah, rings are pretty useless nowadays in the modern Sonic Speed Simulator, which is pretty unfortunate if you think about it. Rings are very iconic. And of course, they're in the game. Like, it's one of the main things in the games. Ever since Reborn, you know, like I was saying, they've just had no use. And this is because of the newest currency that they actually introduced, red star rings. Red star rings, and I guess you could also count these as currency things, the skill pieces, but red star rings is the newest currency that we actually have in the game. And unfortunately, the red star rings have now became that primary currency that everybody uses and everybody wants. And what inspires red star rings to be more of the main currency is if we go into the trading hub here, you guys can actually see if we go up to like this person's stand right here, you can see all their items are for sale for red star rings, and quite a lot. I'm not gonna lie, everyone is selling everything for red star rings. This is not their choice, this is of course GameFam's choice, and it's pretty unfortunate because you can actually buy 15,000 red star rings for 2,000 Robux. That is ridiculous. You can buy rings, but you get 100 million for 600 Robux. Like, what? And something also to do with red star rings, this is kind of off topic, but a 8% fee is applied to all transactions on what you sell. So if someone buys this for 100,000, you're only gonna get about 92,000. But just think of that number of 8,000 going up and up depending on how much your skin is being sold for. Just something I wanted to mention. The only way rings are actually used in some sort of multiplayer is actually the trading fee. Yeah, that's right, you gotta pay rings if you want to trade with someone. You both have to pay 1,000 rings. I don't know if someone gets the rings or not, but it's always been like that. I think it's so that people can't just make an alt account and then trade their self like instantly. They'd have to grind a little bit, but yeah, still, rings are used for very small things in the game. The biggest thing that I find rings are used for is if you actually go into Cyberstation here. Full video on this, by the way, it's pretty old, but it still works. There's actually this machine right here that has a toy robot Metal Sonic Fast Friend. And if you just AFK here grinding with your rings over red star rings like you normally have to pay, you can just grind for this with 500 million rings, which is absolutely a crazy number, but okay. But yeah, this is really the only thing I use my rings on. So if you're watching an older video and you see I had more rings then than I do now, it's because of this machine right here. No other reason. Now, I'm not saying there's no ways to use rings in this game, because there clearly is ways to use rings. They're basically just your starting thing. Like, you can buy all these and stuff with rings, but they don't get you really anything good. The only good friends in this game are now the toy robots, and you need red star rings to get one of these. But yeah, some ways that they could actually interpret the rings inside of the game. Again, an idea I had is actually a ring shop. So basically, kind of like the holiday shops, they could have a new shop feature that actually takes rings, like a crap ton of rings, and it refreshes like every, you know, 7 days or something. It could have like fast friends, good chow, you know, it could even have skins, and it could just be a side thing that they have every single week. That would definitely get a lot more players too. Like, a lot more people would be playing all the time. Now, another thing they could do is a bit more grindier, but they could actually have kind of like a ring fragment system. So if they want to keep red stars as the main currency, then they could have it so that like you collect maybe 100,000 rings, you can get one red star ring. Or let's look at how much I get from just like a stack of rings. Let's see. Oh, Okay, maybe that number would have to be a lot bigger, but you get what I mean. There could be some sort of ring competition where you have to collect rings throughout the week. You know, the top people who get the most rings, they're on the leaderboard. It could be either individual rings or like all the rings that you get in total. Doesn't really matter, I guess. And also another way to interpret rings is kind of taking inspiration from the Sonic games. Is if you actually use rings, you can boost for a longer time. Kind of like a boost. Like, you know, what I mean by boost is like these, but instead of costing Robux, it can cost you rings. Say there's an option that you can enable in your menu. It says use rings to continue boosting, and then you could just have that on all the time and you'd keep boosting, but you would lose like a small amount of rings. Boosting isn't a thing that helps you in the game, but it is fun to boost rather than not to boost, and you can't boost for a very long time unless you're collecting rings, of course. So yeah, if I had this option, I turned it on, I think I could boost for a few days depending on how many rings it would take. I really would like to see what they could do to bring rings back and honestly just get the game out of kind of the hole that it's in right now, because I feel like this game at the moment is falling off. I feel like it will get revived soon. Just right now, Sonic Speed Simulator is not in a good era, I'm not gonna lie. So I'm trying to make some videos for ideas and things that they could add to the game. So Game Fam, if you're watching, you know, it would be a cool feature.